Today I'm going to be showing you a new recipe that I've never tried before. My Aunt Beth actually sent it to me like last week, and it's a 3-ingredient cookie recipe. And all it is really is 2 bananas, 1 cup of oats, and you can add in any third ingredient that you want. So I'm gonna do some craisins and some chocolate chips. I'll do some with craisins, some with chocolate chips. And also one tip was that I took the 2 bananas and froze them and then let them thaw overnight, so they're actually much easier to mash. We're going to add 1 cup of oats to that and combine that together. Okay, so now you can add your third ingredient, which could be like craisins, chocolate chips. You could also do raisins, nuts, anything you like really, and add it to your batter. I'm trying to do some craisins and chocolate chips, so I'm probably gonna do half and half. And then you're going to bake your cookies at 350 for about 12 minutes. Okay, so my cookies just finished and I think they came out really well. And I'm going to try a craisin one. They look really good. Very, very good. And they came out really well. They're very easy to make. I highly recommend you do it. Thank you, Aunt Beth, for the recipe. And I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite quarantine recipes, which is a really easy and healthy fruit smoothie. I actually just started making these in the last 2 months and I really enjoy them. They're very simple and I'm going to show you guys the recipe. So for my ingredients, I have a cup of this, or it's really like, I think like 5.5 ounces. It's kind of like around 2/3 of a cup of yogurt. And I use Siggi's. I use the 0% milk fat one. And usually I'll use the vanilla, and you can find these really at any grocery store. They're super natural, there's very little in them, and they have a great consistency. So I use 1 of those in my smoothie. Then I'll use around a tablespoon of honey. Since the Siggi's yogurt is a little tart, this definitely helps balance it out. And I'll use around a cup to a cup and a half of frozen fruit. I'll probably use close to a cup and a half today because I am using blueberries and raspberries and they're a little smaller, but you can use really any frozen fruit you have. I've used strawberries, mango, blackberries, and lots of other things. Oh, and I almost forgot, you're going to need around a cup of milk. You can use any type of milk you want. I use like normal 1% or 2% milk, but you could use almond milk, soy milk, or whatever you like to drink. So I'm going to start by adding around a cup of frozen fruit to our blender. And oops, some of these didn't come out. And then I'm also going to add a few more raspberries to that, just because they're small. Okay, I was having trouble doing that with one hand. So I'm gonna add around another half cup of raspberries. I'm also trying to like make a little bit extra because my sister does like to have some of this also, but normally you can kind of go by the recipe of like 1 cup of frozen fruit, 1 container of yogurt, and 1 cup of milk. So next I'm going to add in the yogurt. Okay, so now that the yogurt has been added, I'm going to add around a cup of milk. Still some frozen raspberry in there. Okay, and now I'm going to add, usually I don't really measure, I kind of just eyeball it, but I add around a tablespoon of honey. Ooh, this is very hard to squeeze. Yeah, that looks good. And then you just put your top on of your blender. I actually have a very old blender. It's over 20 years old, but it does work. It takes a little while to mix. And you just kind of mix until you get a thicker smoothie consistency. also just want to make sure all the small chunks of fruit have been completely blended. So you might want to go in with a spoon and just make sure and check that everything is being blended together, because you don't want any whole pieces of fruit in your smoothie. Okay, and in the end, you should get a consistency somewhat like this. And I'm going to save a little bit for my sister, because she likes to have a little bit of a leftover. That's not a lot. Oops. I'll give her a little more in mine. But yeah, so that's it for the recipe. If you're someone who like has trouble getting in servings of fruit during the day and needs more of like a convenient way to do it, I highly recommend doing this. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later.